Hey everyone, it's May and welcome back to my channel. In these study abroad reflection videos, I'm going to be going over every aspect of my time in Paris, France with ISA, the program that I studied with, from academics to travel to housing, you name it, to hopefully give you guys a better idea about what it's like to study abroad for those of you who are interested or who are already planning to go. Please keep in mind that my experience is very unique, even with my own program, because there are just so many different options for what you can do while you're there. I hope you guys enjoy these videos and that they're helpful. Let's get into it. Alright, this is going to be my last study abroad reflection video, and I'm going to structure this one more like my traditional reflection videos of a semester, where I just kind of talk about like how I felt, what I learned, etc. And as always, I've got my notes. So obviously I learned a lot from my semester abroad because it is like the most scary thing I'd ever done. Like, I'd been to France before, I had been with my mom to Paris, and then I had gone to visit my friend who was an exchange student with us for 2 weeks. So it was at least a country that I knew, but I literally knew no one in the program, and I was gonna be staying in a stranger's house, going to a new school, taking classes all in a foreign language. Like, definitely had some challenges. As most of you know, it was very hard for me to adjust at the beginning. I kind of talked about it in my vlogs earlier, because at first it was kind of like that, oh my gosh, I'm in Paris, this is so magical, this is insane that this is my life. I can just take the metro and be at Notre Dame to walk to our program's office and just go to the Eiffel Tower. Like, what is this? Like, it was so crazy at the beginning, and like I just had a very romanticized view of Paris because, you know, I've been obsessed with like Paris and French stuff since I was little and playing with Madeline dolls, and had an amazing time with my mom when we went there and did like all the touristy stuff. And then my friend lives in northern France, so we only went to Paris for a day, but we had such an amazing day there and like took like a river cruise and had like such a magical night on the Champs-Elysees, like going shopping and stuff and getting macarons and like running around and eating dinner super late. So that's what I had of Paris, and I was like, my whole semester is gonna be like that. And I know this sounds really dumb, but like that's seriously what I was thinking. I was like, it's just gonna be magic. And the first week it was like, oh my gosh, this is magic. And then school started and the routine started, and I was like, but I'm not seeing the Eiffel Tower every day. I have to go to class for 3 hours at a time, and I have to do chores, and like, what? I was like disappointed because it felt like routine, just like things at home felt routine. And then I got sick, and so it was just like kind of ugh. But then as I like got to know people in my program more, because it was also hard for me because it was just so small talky at the beginning, like, where do you go to school in the US, what's your major, blah blah blah. As I got to know people more and we'd like talk about things we missed from home, and like I made some more friends and we started doing things together over the weekend, it got a lot more fun. And then it was like this really cool thing of like, wow, we don't have that much homework, let's adventure on the weekends, like let's eat lunch together during the week. And it just like got a lot better, and throughout the semester I really came to appreciate having a routine in a foreign country. Like, I can think about like my life in Paris now, like what my life was like there, like my routine, my day-to-day, like my walk from the tram home, things like that just are just really beautiful and special, you know? So I think that's just really cool because you get to know a city so much more living in it instead of just being a tourist. And if there was a city that I'd want to get to know, it was Paris, so I'm definitely glad I did it there. I definitely had some issues with like social dynamics as well. I'm not someone who likes being in big groups, so anytime we did something like a trip or whatever, or an activity with the whole program, it's just, I don't like it. I like having like one person to be with, and luckily I had some awesome friends who I could talk about these social dynamics with, who also like shared some of my same sentiments, so that really helped me. But it was so nice to like find friends that would like pair off with me, and then we could just talk and do stuff when we were in a group. That was helpful, but I just don't like big groups, so that was a little bit of a struggle. I also definitely thought, and this also might sound a little naive, like my Paris thing, I thought that being in a different place would mean that I would automatically be different, and like it wasn't. Like, I thought like, oh, like I'll be fine, like I won't care if, you know, I have to wake up to my roommate's alarm, or I'm sure I won't get headaches from bread and dairy like I do here, and dairy won't upset my stomach, and I just won't care about all this stuff because I'll be in Paris, like it won't affect me the same way. It's like, yeah, it does. Like, I'm still the same person. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. Like, I think that's just really difficult. Like, when we picture ourselves in another life, we're like, oh, all this stuff will be solved. But it doesn't work like that. And so I was like disappointed in the first month or so where I was like, I don't feel any different. But then truly, as the program continued, like some of my same like thought patterns and stuff that I have here like changed, if that makes any sense. Cause like, I guess like in the long run, I did change somewhat. Not a lot, but like, I think just my perspective on a couple things changed, and like from conversations with friends and like being exposed to new situations, I don't know. And also I took my solo trip to Nice, which was an amazing experience that I talked a little bit more about in my traveling video. And that was just like an amazing 3 days where I really just got to like be with myself in nature and just like reflect on a lot of things. And I left that trip, well actually I don't think I felt better about stuff right after that trip. It was like a couple days after that I was like, I do feel different about some things. And I felt like more distance from some stuff, and it was good. And yeah, now that I'm back here, I still have kind of retained those new perspectives and stuff. So I think that like in the long run, I did change, but the same stuff that affects you in one place is gonna affect you in another place. That's the moral of the story. Like, you can change and you can open your mind to new things, but you're still gonna be the same person, if that makes any sense. I was also gonna go on Instagram. I asked you guys for questions and a couple people had some. I answered one of them in another video, but let's see. Someone said, what was your absolute favorite place that you stayed? A lot of people are asking me that, like, oh, like, where's your favorite place you traveled to, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I really did like Amsterdam. I liked everywhere I went, honestly, except Fez. I don't know that I'd go back to Rome again because I've been twice now, so it's like not at the top of my list. I love Rome though. Definitely want to go back to Barcelona. I would go back to Amsterdam. I love that place. And I would definitely want to go back to Nice, like for sure. But I don't know, I can't pick favorites. I can't do it. I don't know. Oh, and Belgium. I've already been there twice too, so I think I'm kind of done with that. But yeah, my favorite place in Paris was Trocadero. It's probably pretty obvious if you watch my vlogs. I just, watching the sunset behind the Eiffel Tower and listening to Brian Mountfoot and then having it sparkle is just, it's pure magic. That is Paris magic for you. That never got old. Stepping off the metro and turning the corner and seeing that view from Trocadero never got old in the slightest. Like, I still got the same awe I felt the first time, every single time I saw it. So yeah, that's the answer for that one. And then someone else asked, is there anything you would change about your study abroad experience? That's hard, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I really regret anything. I know some people traveled afterward, but I didn't have that option because I knew I had to come back here, move down to my apartment and start my program. I'm glad I did a homestay. I feel happy with the friends I made. I really don't think I would change anything, except this is such a little thing, but I wish I had packed more medication. I was very happy with the way I packed overall. Like, I feel like I used everything that I brought. I have a what I packed video if you're interested. I feel like I packed very well for the weather because I brought mostly like warm clothes and then just a couple like lighter things, and it never really got warm, so I didn't even really use them. But I wish I had packed more medication because they just do not have the same medication we do. And luckily Abby had brought like some NyQuil and Sudafed, because when I needed that, they didn't have it at the pharmacy. Because when you're sick, you want like medicine that will help you sleep because your nose is super stuffed up and you feel awful and you have the chills and a fever and you can't sleep. So that's what I'd change. And I think that was all the questions. Another thing that I learned a lot about was traveling, because I talked about this somewhat in my traveling video, like how each trip went, that I had never really traveled on my own without like parents or like an organization. So for the trips that I took with just my friends and my solo trip, it was definitely like kind of a wake-up call to realize how much work traveling really is, like how much planning you have to do, like how you have to be aware of so many things, like all the logistics and how expensive it is and stuff. And obviously there are ways to travel cheaply, and I talk about that too in that video. Like, traveling is amazing, but it is work. So yeah, I definitely learned that. And then I also think that I just learned more about like myself and what I'm capable of. Like, I talked about this in my fall reflection video, but when you go through hard things, not that this was like hard, but you know, it was like a challenge. It builds you up because then when you have to do something hard again, you can look back and be like, I got through that. Like I keep telling myself when I'm nervous about starting the summer program, like I did study abroad. I got on a plane and went halfway across the world, not knowing anyone and having to just get dropped off at some stranger's house and start a new life there. And I did it. And so like I can do this, you know what I mean? And just having to be brave and like speaking the language and being awkward and like meeting new people and messing up and all of that stuff is like just good character building stuff. Something that I'm always gonna look back on with positive memories. And like I know some people are really sad when they come back and like wish that they were still there, but like I don't know if that just hasn't hit me yet because I don't want to still be there. Like I would have been fine staying in Paris, but I would have had to have an apartment. I would have had to have moved out. Like I loved my homestay, but I need my own kitchen and my own space. So that's why I'm very happy to be back here. And honestly, all semester, I just couldn't shake off the feeling of being a foreigner because like, you know, people could tell my accent, whatever. So I really like just being back where I'm like normal. I don't know how to describe it. If you've never been to another country, it's hard to explain, but it's like you feel like an outcast a little bit. Like the whole time, and it never really went away for me. So just like being able to just, you know, walk into a store and speak English and like, you know, do stuff. It was funny when I was still abroad, I was like picturing interactions when I would come home. I'd be like, okay, so you know, at school I'm gonna talk to my advisor, and I was picturing the conversation in French because I was so used to talking to like people in stores and people at school in French. So like my brain had been completely trained. So it's just nice to not have that extra layer to think about. But anyway, overall, it was an amazing experience and I'm so glad that I did it, and I'm looking forward to traveling more, seeing more of the world and teaching English abroad. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. If you have study abroad memories or experiences that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Please give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. This is the end of my study abroad reflection videos, finally. So yeah, bye.